All right, so I want to take a look at polar graphs, circles, and roses. This is only going to be for cosine only. These are the steps. All right, you're going to ask yourself these three questions. If all else fails, you can just plug them in and make a table and do it from there. But it'll be quite simple. You're going to have two options. You can either have it odd, which is going to be the number of leaves is actually n. So 3 in this example is invisible 1 in this example, or you can have it even, and even will be 2 times the number of n. So 2 times 4, 2 times 6. Okay. Once you have odd, you can have either r is positive or negative. So r is positive and r here is negative. If it's even, you can also have r is positive or r is negative. So I'm going to look at all 4 situations and then you're going to do one. All right, so let's take a look at the first one. All right, so number 1, what is the length and direction? So it says you always start on x, and this is only for cosine. All right, so number 1, length and direction. Direction here is r, so it's positive 3 is your length. Direction is in the positive side. All right, number 2, how many leaves are there? So when it's odd, it's just n leaves. So when it's odd, it's just whatever number that is there, which is 3. All right, and then number 3, how spread are they? So it's to find the spread, you're going to do 360 divided by the number of petals. So 360 divided by 3 in this case, which is going to be 120. So they're 120 degrees spread out. All right, so before we start, we need to kind of find out how spread out our unit circle is. So I know 1 quadrant is 90 degrees. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so if I take the 90 degrees and divide it into 6 equal sections, it's going to tell me each of those sections are worth 15. So each of these sections are worth 15. All right, and that's going to be for all of them. All right, so let's go ahead and start at positive 3 for my length, and it's always on the x-axis, so I'm positive 3. So you find the circle that has 3. So 1, 2, 3. And because you can't really see this very well, I'm just going to outline it so that you know that all the points need to be on that circle. All right, so we're going to start off at positive 3. So my first leaf is right here. And then we're going to have 3 leaves in totals, 120 away from each other. Okay, so this is going to be 90. Then plus another 30 will be 120. So if each one of these is 15, I need 2 of those. So 2 of these are right here. That's going to be 120 degrees. So from here to here is 120 degrees. Then I need it to be another 120 degrees. I'm just going to start, because this is in the middle, I'm going to start right here. So again, this is 90 degrees plus two spaces. So these 2 spaces right here. And this is also going to be 120. So this distance from here to here is 120. And if you calculate this, you're going to see that this is also 120. So each of the leaves are 120 spaced out. Now that you have that, the leaves, so just draw the rows. And this takes practice, and I'm not really very good at it, but watch. I'm going to kind of do this through the back to the middle to the other side, then back to the middle. Or you can just draw the actual leaves like that 3 times. But I kind of find it fun to do that because I saw someone do it that way. All right, so if it's odd, these are the steps that you're following if r is positive. Now, if r is negative, but it's still odd, these are still going to be the steps. What is the length and the direction? So remember, length and direction is given by this number right here. So it is going to be negative 4 is my length. And it always starts on the x-axis. All right, number 2. All right, how many petals are there? So that number comes from right here. N is invisible 1, so 1 leaf or 1 petal. All right, and then number 3, how far spread are those petals? It's always going to be 360 divided by the number of petals, which in this case is 360 because there's only 1 petal. So the 1 petal is a full circle. That's what this means. All right, so let's go ahead and draw it. So it always starts on the x-axis, negative 4 in length. So we're going to go negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm going to highlight that circle so that you can see it the whole time, and so I don't draw it anywhere else. All right, so negative 4 is 1 leaf right here. Oh, it's only going to be 1 leaf, so it's going to be from the center to that 1 leaf. And we're going to try and make it even, so this distance here is this distance here, somewhere like there. All right, and then we're going to draw it. So this is 1 leaf, so this is going to be a perfect circle like that. And what does that look like? That looks like what we just did before. So really, a circle is a rose with one leaf. Okay, so really when you see a circle, right, it doesn't have an n or has n equals 1, you know this is a circle. All right, so that's how you're going to be able to distinguish between circle and roses, is if there's a number right there. All right, so let's take a look at if it is even. Okay, and the only difference is the number of petals. That's the only thing that changes. So again, you still follow the same steps. What is the length? So this gives me the length. So it's in +5 is my length. Number 2, how many petals are there? Now, when it is even, instead of it being the number of petals, it's twice whatever n is. So this is going to be twice 4, which is 8. So there are 8 leaves. And number 3, how spread out are those leaves? It's going to be 360 divided by the number of leaves, which is going to give me, in this case, 45 degrees. So every 45 degrees is a leaf. All right, so we're going to start off with my x-axis at +5. So at +5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, I'm just going to highlight that circle just so that you can see all my points need to be on that circle. All right, so my first leaf is at +5. And then there are 8 of them, 45 degrees apart. So 45 degrees is in the middle, right? So it's the middle one. So here's the middle, then it goes the full, then the middle one is right there, then the full, then the middle one, then the full, then the middle one, then the full. Okay, so you count and see that there are 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 in total, which means this is ready for me to draw. And again, you can draw this individual leaves at a time, but I'm going to try and do that thing like this. And I'm just letting the flow of my pen just kind of go with whatever it wants to go. Hey, all right, that kind of worked. All right, but you can draw them individually. You can just do this every single time. Okay, so no big deal. I'm just kind of drawing. They're supposed to go through the center. Some of these I really missed, but that's okay. All right, so last one, and then you're going to practice one. All right, so now this time I have a negative. Okay, it doesn't matter. So you start with my first step is this, the length and direction is -6. My second step is how many leaves are there. So this is 2 times 6, which is 12. And then my third step is how spread out are those leaves. So it's going to be 360 divided by 12, which is going to give me 30. So every 30 degrees is my spread. All right, starting at -6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to again highlight that circle just so that I stay on the circle for the leaves. Boom. All right, so my first one is at -6 and every 30 degrees. So 30 degrees is every 2 spaces because each one is 15, so 15, 30. So every 2 spaces is a dot on that circle. Every 2 spaces, 2 spaces, 2 spaces, 2 spaces, 2 spaces, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, and if I count these up, I should have a total of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, perfect. So again, you can draw them individually. So you can draw them like that individually, or you could do, you know, what I was attempting to do. But since I started it individually, I'm just going to keep going. So each dot is a leaf. And it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so there we go. That's my rose. All right, so again, you are going to actually complete that one. Let's practice.